Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a film that many have called one of the greatest ever made, Satyajit Ray's 1956 classic, 5.Aparajito. We're going to break it down using a recent review that asks a fascinating question. What makes a film from nearly 70 years ago still feel so incredibly powerful today?
So the review kicks things off with this massive claim. Calling something one of the best movies of all time, that's a pretty bold statement, right? So what's backing it up? Let's unpack why Aparajita might just earn that incredible title.
To really get why this film is such a big deal, we've got to step back a bit and look at the bigger picture. Because, the reviewer makes it super clear that this film doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It's part of something much, much bigger.
See, 5.Aparajito isn't the beginning of the story. It's actually the crucial second chapter in what's famously known as Satyajit Ray's Apu trilogy. It picks right up with our main character Apu and follows him as he starts to grow up.
And here you can see exactly where it fits. You've got Pather Panchali in 55, then our film, 5.Aparajito, right in the middle, and it all wraps up with Apar Sansar in 59. So 5.Aparajito, which means the unvanquished, by the way. How cool is that? It's this essential bridge. It's what takes us from Apu's childhood in the village to his life as a young man.
All right, so let's talk about that journey. What's this second part of the story all about? Well, at its heart, it's about growing up. And let me tell you, it is not an easy ride. It's challenging, and it's often really painful.
The whole story really kicks into gear when Apu makes this huge decision. He decides to leave his village, his family, everything he's ever known, to go get an education in a big city. And that one choice, well, that's where all the drama, all the tension of the film really comes from.
It's like he's caught in this massive tug of war. On one side, you've got his village life. That's family, that's tradition. It's his mother's whole world. And on the other side, the city. And that represents education, ambition, the future that Apu is so desperately trying to build for himself.
But here's the thing, and the review really nails this. Chasing that dream has a real cost. It's not some simple happy story. Apu has to navigate a totally new way of life, and as he does, this emotional gulf starts to open up between him and his mom. The film really just zooms in on that internal, really personal struggle.
Okay, so we've talked about the story, but how does Ray tell that story? This is where things get really cool. The review points to a specific technical innovation that was, and I mean this, a complete game changer for its time. It's a technique called bounce lighting, and the idea is actually pretty simple, but it's brilliant. Instead of pointing a big, harsh light right at an actor's face, you bounce it off of a wall or a reflector first, and what you get is this beautiful, soft light that feels way more natural, kind of like sunlight coming through a window. And get this, the reviewer points out that Satyajit Ray is actually credited with inventing this technique for this movie. Think about that. Back then, movies could look really theatrical, almost fake with their lighting. Ray wanted raw realism, something that felt totally authentic. So he just invented a whole new way to do it. Incredible!
So, bounce lighting. It's a cool trick, right? But why are we even talking about it? Because, and this is the absolute key, every single technical decision Ray makes in this film is there for one reason: to get you closer to the real, raw, messy human emotions at the heart of the story.
And this marks a really big shift from the first film in the trilogy. Pather Panchali was all about external struggles, dealing with the hardships of poverty. But with 5.Aparajito, the camera kind of turns inward. The main battle isn't against the world anymore, it's the battle going on inside the characters themselves.
And that's exactly why the lighting is so genius. It's not just for show. That soft, natural light creates this incredibly intimate feeling. It lets you really sit with these quiet, personal, emotional moments. The technology is totally in service of the emotion.
And the emotions he's exploring? They're things we all get. A mother feeling like her son is slipping away. A young person just desperate to build their own life. That bittersweet feeling when you love your family but you know you have to move on. These are universal, right? It doesn't matter where you're from or when you're watching this.
Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. We've got the story, the technique, the emotion. What does it all add up to? Why are we still talking about this film today?
Just look at that date, 1956. We're talking almost 7 decades ago. And yet, the stuff this film is about, change, ambition, the gap between generations, man, it feels like it could have been written yesterday.
And I think that's the film's secret sauce, really.
It tells this tiny, deeply personal story about a boy and his mom, but it does it in a way that just blows up to this massive, universal scale. It speaks to everyone.
Which really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? How can a story that's nearly 70 years old, from a completely different time and place, in black and white, still feel so raw and personal to us, right here, right now?
And there's your answer. It's not just the cool camera work or the plot. The real magic of Aparajito is that it taps into those bedrock human emotions: love, ambition, loss, growth, the things that connect every single one of us. It's about what it means to be human, and that never, ever gets old.